I'm Elaine Duncan, she, her, hers, speaking from the land of the Anacostans and Piscataways, honoring my elders, past, present, and emerging. I'm an acupuncturist who specializes in the treatment of traumatic stress. I integrate Western neuroscience with the wisdom of acupuncture and Asian medicine. This dual lens has brought my heart to places I never would have imagined when I graduated from acupuncture school in 1990. I've sat with veterans and service members, with immigrants and refugees, and I've borne witness to the profound impact that childhood trauma has on adult survivors. This lens has also made clear the profound impact that generation after generation after generation of traumatic stress can have on those who come after. It offers an explanation for the significant health disparities between people of color and whites. It has become a study in the history of white supremacy, anti-Semitism, all those other isms, war and peace, as matters of life and death today. I confess that when COVID-19 first came, I was filled with a lot of fear and some desire to isolate. That rapidly became despair as I witnessed the profound impact it was having on people who couldn't isolate or had their health disparities made them more vulnerable. People in nursing homes, those living in prisons or on the street, migrants unable to meet the federal requirements for the meager programs made available, and so having to choose between going to work and being exposed to COVID and dying in their own homes. Then George Floyd was murdered by police in Minneapolis, my hometown, and tens of thousands of African Americans, rapidly followed by people of all colors, whose future was being truncated by a failed economy, a healthcare system that has failed to respond, and a social contract on race that makes the playing field so profoundly unequal. When an African American elder of mine with a big broad smile on his face said, "Look at this wonderful arousal on the streets," I woke up to my role as a trauma healer and my experience of our nation as a trauma survivor. When our biologic urge to protect and defend ourselves and those who are more vulnerable than us becomes repeatedly thwarted and thwarted and thwarted, we're pushed into a freeze response, a collapse or immobility state. The route to healing is finding that place where it's stored, helping it thaw, mobilize, and find voice. We are in the midst of an opportunity for profound healing of America's first wound. Then another African American elder of mine said, "Well, when people are first finding their voice, you have to expect it to be a bit disjointed or bumpy." And my capacity to understand and be a supportive ally grew. And then I went to a Black Lives Matter rally and saw the sign, "Silence is violence." And I knew that I had to speak up for the profound impact that arousal on our streets was having for the healing of America. We are living in a precious and precarious time. Opportunities for the healing and transformation of America are all around us. Can we even imagine the transformation of an economy that's rooted in tax cuts for the wealthy and the highest unemployment rates since the 1930s? Can we imagine dismantling a healthcare system that has been so profoundly unresponsive to this, what I like to call, pandemic? And we most certainly can imagine a transformation of our national consciousness on race and the creation of a new social contract. One of the most important foundations for healing a trauma survivor is that they feel heard, met, understood, and cared for. I support Joe's Movement Emporium for all of that and more, for helping to keep our community's heart in rhythm and on the beat. So I invite you to celebrate creative revolution, Joe's Movement Emporium, and the opportunity to create a new America that is before us. Forward ever, backward never.